As I'm looking up, I see this spaceship land on top of the Sphinx. They said to me, they're coming, they're looking for what we have hidden. We've hidden secrets underneath the Sphinx that are essential for humanity. They said, oh, you need to remember who we are. Looking at them, and then I could see the shape of these aliens standing in front of me. I was like, this is familiar. During the lockdown of 2021, so we were home for 4 or 5 months in Sydney, I had nothing better to do than to meditate, create meditation music, and my children were all at home. So it was me at home alone with them, while Ken was an essential worker, classified an essential worker, and thank goodness for that. So I was home, and I was very intent on unfolding my journey and unfolding my meditation journey in that. And it was late in the evening, early evening, and I meditated in my living room with my 3 kids wide awake, running around me. I actually trained myself to block them out, and I had an older child. She would have been about 8 at the time, and I would tell her, if there is an emergency, wake me up. But I'd be there, and they'd be running around me and watching TV and jumping on the couches and blah blah blah. So I had to do it. If I didn't do it, then the alternative was not good for me or for them. So it was like my daily dose of medicine. So I was meditating, and I had this feeling of intense love, and I felt this group of beings, and they came around me. I couldn't see them, but I could feel them, and I could somehow hear by telepathic way. I could hear the message, but it wasn't words. It was just energy, right? And they felt so familiar, and it was an overwhelming feeling of love. And they said to me, come with us. We need to show you something, and you need to remember. And I said, okay, I'll come with you. Then pop, just like that. In my third eye, I'm sitting in darkness, but then I see a sunlight out through this hole, and they're still talking to me, and I'm like, where am I? And they said, we're inside the Sphinx. And I said, oh, okay. And they said, well, we have to show you some stuff here. You need to remember this stuff. You've forgotten. And I said, okay. And I felt very safe with them. And then they kind of pulled me out from inside the Sphinx to outside the Sphinx. So as I'm looking up, I see this spaceship land on top of the Sphinx. And they said to me, they're coming, they're looking for what we have hidden. And I said, what do you mean? And they said, we've hidden secrets underneath the Sphinx that are essential for humanity. You guys haven't found it yet, but you will find it. They've come looking for this very important key. And I thought, okay, all right. And then I saw these beings come out of the spaceship, and they were frightening. Like, they looked awful. They looked like reptilian, humanoid looking, and I got scared. I remember seeing them and feeling scared, and they said, we've got you. They can't see you. Don't you worry. You're hidden. They can't see you. You're safe. And I said, okay. And then they snapped me out of that back into my body, back in Sydney, while I'm meditating in the living room with screaming kids running around me. And then they said, okay, you've seen what you need to see, but you need to remember who we are. And then one at a time, all these different species of what looked like to me at the time aliens started appearing to me and saying, hi, do you remember us? We're the Arcturians. And then I could see the shape of these aliens standing in front of me. I was like, looking at them and feeling their energy, feeling their frequency. And I was like, this is familiar. I know this. And I remember them. I've had time with them, past lives. I know them. And then the Sirians came in, and then the Pleiadians came in, and then the Lyrans came in, and they were all like introducing themselves to me, saying, remember us, remember us. And I was like, oh my God. It was like a reunion, right? Like, you guys are back. Oh, I remember now. Fantastic. So the Arcturians are probably the shorter, as they appear to me, shorter in comparison to the other species. So they're really round. They look like the typical alien that, you'd see on the X-Files. In our media, they're depicted as scary, but there's a softness. There's like a softness in the face, really large black eyes, but really soft because it's all telepathic with those guys. Humanoid bodies, a bluey, silvery tinge to them. But their energy is so beautiful. It's so light and so ethereal. They're just being in their presence is extremely healing. It's just they just feel like love. They feel like love. They're beautiful beings. And then the Pleiadians. The Pleiadians look the most like us, but they're taller. They're taller. They're all slim. They have really long hair. Most of them have really long platinum blonde, but then some of them do have darker hair, and they can be female or male, so you can distinguish between female and male in the Pleiadian species. They mostly wear these tight jumpsuits, boots. They're beautiful though. They look stunning. They look like supermodels. So it's okay, give us a bit of that. So how do we end up like you guys? So yeah, they're also very loving and kind. They've got gadgets, the Pleiadians. They like to use energy machines, frequency machines, light machines. So they do have a lot of different healing modalities, and they really do like their contraptions. I call them the contraption peoples. And then you've got the Sirians. Okay, they're blue. So they're blue, and they are taller than for me, they're perceived as taller than the Arcturians. Most of them have a crystal or a couple of crystals in the forehead. And they're humanoid, so they've got arms and legs, but no hair, bald head. Yeah, they're highly spiritual beings. And then the Lyrans, oh my goodness. Okay, they are beautiful. They are absolutely stunning. And I think that was the group that took me into the Sphinx. So they felt like family. And so later on I found out that I had had a lifetime with them, so that's why they felt like family. So they've got different look in their species, but the original ones had lion heads, humanoid figure, and just a real regal presence about them, but just this kindness, this extreme love and kindness. They're all beautiful and loving and kind. Their frequency is so powerful, so high, so light. But it's almost like this ancient wisdom that they hold, like the grandfather who's seen it all and experienced it all, and you just want to listen to them to see what, words of wisdom they can share with you. That's the energy that they have. So I came out of that meditation and I was so excited. I was like, oh, they're back. I remember them. And at this stage, up until then, I didn't formally believe in aliens. I was always on the fence. I always used to say to Ken, my husband, who was adamant they existed and was obsessed with everything sci-fi. I was like, well, look, if they were there, we would have found them by now. I ran over to Kenny because I'm like, is there anyone that's gonna believe me? And he just kind of looked at me he's like, this is not fair. I'm the one that believes in them. Why have you seen them and why not me? But yeah, it was a really exciting and happy reunion. And from then on, they kept coming in and out of my meditations, giving me messages, showing me things. And after that meditation, I was really curious because I was wondering, has anybody else received the message that there's something underneath the Sphinx that's really powerful that us as humanity need to have access to? So I went Googling like I usually do, and I said typed in what I saw. And then a psychic from, I think he was from the early 1900s, his name was Edgar Casey. he had the exact same message, and he shared it with the world at the time. And he said, like, there's something underneath the paw, and there's something hidden under there. There's a hall of records, there's information. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not crazy. Some other psychic has received the same message, hundreds of years ago, but the same message. And I was like, right, now I'm on mission. I'm going to share all this information. People need to know. So it was really affirming.